Hello everyone, this is Joe here from OmniPoke, the channel that brings you guys everything Pokemon. Today we're looking at Buzzroc. Not the usual way that you've seen it before, but I believe the archetype is very strong. It's taken a similar approach to Peter Kika's Buzz Lucario build that we saw do very well in a recent Standard Regional, so this time we're going back to the more usual partner of Bloodthirsty Eyes, Lycanroc, because Gusting is absolutely busted, and having Dangerous Rogue as a backup attacker for this deck I also think is very, very strong. The Lucario is of course more immediate, and when there's a lot of Pikarom that's very strong, but I think the Lycanroc does give us a small chance of beating some Malamar players, which the Lucario completely doesn't give us help for. And in general, Gust is just a really strong thing. We can make sure we're picking off the right targets with like Jet Punch shenanigans and making sure we're hitting GXs on our Beast Ring turns. That's pretty much the main priority. So I think this archetype is powerful. I love its type coverage right now. And I think Zoroark and Pikarom and Zapdos all can fall to this deck. And that's answering a lot of decks right now in the format. So let's jump into the deck. First of all, 3 copies of Buzzwole-GX. Jet Punch is still an absolutely solid attack. Doing 30 and 30, obviously we are hitting for weakness on Zoruas, so this is obviously a nice Zorua Slayer. Also good at putting some preliminary damage on lots of Jirachis around. Also good against just hitting Inkays even. Thanks to the help of Absol, hopefully we can slow down Malamar players to maybe not attack us until like turn 3. That's the intention, fingers crossed. And if that's the case, Jet Punch is going to be doing lots of knockouts and setting up damage all across the board on lots of Jirachis and all this other stuff. So that's just a really, really powerful attack for you in general. And that's pretty much the opener that we go for in this deck for the most part. Knuckle Impact, when we do get those Beast Rings rolling, is a huge threat. You do 160 for 3 fighting. Obviously, we can just manually attach a couple of times to this guy and force the opponent to get through a GX early on in the game. And if that's the case, it means we have another Power Spike turn in Sledgehammer. So if we just don't get answered, we can keep manually attaching onto Buzzwole and make him even stronger. Absorption GX is an option we have. Again, for that 3 fighting energy, we do 40 times the number of our remaining prize cards. Not quite synergistic with the deck, but it's something you can bear in mind if you need to do a huge wave of damage all at once. But yeah, it's mainly about early jet punching. We have 3 copies of Acerola in the deck, so we're trying to do this a lot in certain matchups. Even against Zapdos, we're trying to jet punch a bunch. Actually, especially against Zapdos, we're trying to jet punch a bunch. And if that's the case, it means we're just putting damage across the board and wiping damage off, which is pretty much the idea of the deck. And Knuckle Impact, when we have those big Beast Ring turns, is very, very intimidating. Thanks to the likes of Choice Band and Diancie, we reach 1-hit KOs, and with Beast Energy as well. Onto the Baby Buzz, we play 2 copies. Sledgehammer is obviously a big turn we try to look for. For 1 fighting, we do 30. If our opponent has 4 prize cards remaining, you do 90 more damage. This is again huge with the Diancie, the Choice Band, the Beast Energy. This can push into one-shotting even things like Tapu Lele. Obviously hitting for weakness on Pikaroms and Zoroarks is a big reason this card is seeing so much play right now, even in like rainbow builds, because his attack is so powerful on that turn. Swing Around is also something we can bear in mind, again with Beast Rings. For 2 fighting colourless, we do 80, flip 2 coins, 20 more for each heads. So looking towards that 2-hit KO range, again, unless we're looking to hit for weakness, which is a huge deal. From there, the Diancie, with that ability, just improves our damage from all of our fighting dudes, which is obviously very important. It means that we're not doing completely pitiful damage against Zapdos. Obviously, it's not great still, but it at least means Jet Punch is, negating the resistance that it has. And if we can find ourselves Beast Energy, it means we can still be 2-shotting the Zapdos players alongside this full package, which is something to bear in mind. Also, we have Kukuis as well to try and push those numbers even further, which is pretty good actually. When we're doing these Acerolas, we can then work in Kukui and stuff, which is something to bear in mind. From there, we're going to have a 2-2 line of the Lycanroc-GX. Bloodthirsty Eyes is a huge ability. As I said earlier, it's just something that can help us pick off GXs when we are on this big Power Spike Beast Ring and Sledgehammer turns. It also offers 2 great attacks. Dangerous Rogue for a fighting colorless does 50 for each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. As we've seen it used in Zoroark builds, it's still very powerful in here. And we have Claw Slash doing fighting in 2 colorless, 110. It's pretty reasonable. It's pretty expensive in this build. It's more or less just here for Bloodthirsty Eyes and then maybe an occasional Dangerous Rogue if we have the opportunity to. But overall, I think it's just a really strong card for his ability alone. It offers so much for us. It means we can be using Acerolas or draw supporters on the turns that we are still getting a gusting effect, which is such a big deal for us. From there, 1 copy of Absol. It's a huge card at helping us beat Malamar. Also, so is the Lycanroc, by the way, because it's the only thing in our deck not weak to Psychic. But the Absol is trying to slow down Malamar players, also trying to make it very difficult for Zapdos players, because the intention is, if we're doing all these Jet Punches, we're not knocking out the Zapdos here and there, so they're going to have to find themselves a switching card, and they can't go into Jirachi with Escape Board for free. They have to like pay retreat on the Jirachi as well, so they're not presenting backup attackers, and they're having to waste lots of switch cards which they can't Stellar Wish into. They have to already have them in hand. So the Absol's a massive pain for people to get through, which is definitely a good thing for us. From there, we're going to have 3 copies of Jirachi. Stellar Wish is going to be the engine that we incorporate into our build. Once during your turn, if he's active, you can look at the top 5, reveal a trainer, and put it straight to your hand. Obviously, this is good for digging out the likes of Acerola, Guzma, Beast Ring on those key turns, supporters in general. So this is a really nice backup engine that we can have on offer. The idea is the main deck playing Muck right now is Zoroark, and we should be able to batter through Zoroark just by drawing averagely well, even though we have Stellar Wish sometimes shut off. Usually they're going to be drawing so badly because we're killing their Zoruas so early that they can't even get Muck going, or they have to prioritize other things, that the Jirachi stays on board a lot more than it would in something like a Zapdos deck, because we have just so much more pressure because we're a full fighting deck against the Zoroark player. So that's the idea why we can take full advantage of Jirachi without being super punished for it. From there, I'm going to play 1 copy of Escape Rope, as well as 3 copies of Switch, and 2 copies of Escape Board. These are all to try and help the Jirachi package as much as possible, to make sure we can move between our dudes and get as many Stellar Wishes off as possible, which is always going to be great for us. From there, we're going to have the Ball Search of 3 Nest and 3 Ultra. I kind of like this split, seeing as though most of our deck is basics outside of the Lycanroc. It's a similar mentality to the 3 Ultra Ball that you see in the Zapdos builds. This really has taken the shell of a Zapdos player, but being brown instead. So yeah, the 3 Nest, the 2 Brooklet acts as like 5 early Ball Search cards, 3 of which can grab Jirachi in the first place, which is pretty good, and the rest is getting our attackers and Diancie. So I think there's plenty of Ball Search overall. 3 copies of Beast Ring. Obviously we can dig this out with the Stellar Wish, which is something we will be looking for on those key turns, getting those knuckle impacts off, getting the swing arounds going. Even just, putting 2 onto a Buzzwole to Sledgehammer, it means we can manually attach the turn on like a Lycanroc in the back to set up a dangerous rogue for future turns. Can be absolutely huge. So the Beast Ring is still a huge power spike in the game. From there, for supporters, a couple of copies of Kukui. It makes those early Jet Punches much more relevant, especially against the likes of Zapdos. It means we can jump over opposing like Beast Ring turns. If it's going to be a Zapdos like Ring deck, or if it's a Zapdos Rainbow deck, we can jump over Sledgehammer, we can jump over Nightcap. Definitely an attacker we have to be concerned about because they're Psychic type on top of everything else. They can copy just things like Knuckle Impact very easily. So that's something we have to be concerned about. So Kukui helping that Jet Punch math can actually be really crucial at times in those sorts of situations, which is a huge deal. It can also help push things like Swing Around into more likely knockouts against Zoroark as well. So that's something to bear in mind. From there, the 3 Acerola is such a huge deal against Zapdos. Their early pressure just onto the Buzzwole is completely mitigated. We have lots of chunky basics if they're going to try and use Escape Ropes, like the Buzzwole and the Diancie that we can put down early, force them to have lots of electro powers, be really resource heavy for them, essentially, is the idea behind this build. Against Zapdos players, we're going to try and limit ourselves to 1 Jirachi if we can, and not give them many easy Guzma targets. We're just going to make them have to go through the likes of Diancie, the Buzzwoles, the Absol, and the Buzzwole-GXs, and hopefully we can Acerola them. I think we don't even put down Rockruff in the Zapdos matchup if we can help it, because we don't want to give them those easy Guzmas. We just want to make it as hard for them as possible and make them attack with Zapdos in the active, which is just a wasted turn for them. So these Acerolas are huge for making that a possibility for us. We just try and out-resource Zapdos players, basically. From there, we're going to play the 4 copies of Guzma. We're still gusting Dock deck like the old Buzzrocs in the past. Synergize is even better now that we can Stellar Wish in the same turn as well. 4 copies of Cynthia and 4 copies of Lillie to round the deck out, just for some good shuffle draw and early game draw as well from the Lillie, which is awesome, giving us some reasonable consistency overall. 2 copies of Choice Band for damage buffing, obviously a big deal for the knuckle impact and the swing arounds and stuff. It's just in general helping us out, even on the Sledgehammer turns, like I said, for knocking out Lele's. 2 Escape Boards, great on the Jirachi, also can find its way onto a Rockruff or an Absol in the early game if we have to. And 1 copy of Beast Energy, such a huge card to hit. I have thought about playing Lucia in the deck just because Beast Energy is such a big card, as is Diancie, and this is just so helpful. The damage buff is absolutely incredible. It acts as a 3rd Choice Band whilst Also, you know, being something, especially if we can find the Acerola loop for this guy, it's just putting in so much work. And 9 fighting energy should just about give us enough to Beast Ring out of the deck with, as well as have lots of manual attachments on top. I think overall it's pretty self-explanatory and standard. For cards I've been looking to add into the list, Rescue Stretcher is definitely one of them. Especially because we only have one Absol. I'd like to stretch a back Absol in Zapdos mirror matches again to be more, or not mirror matches, Zapdos matchups. I'm so used to saying mirror because I've been playing so much Zapdos myself. The stretcher would be really nice for recycling an Absol. Could also be helpful for recycling a Buzzwole. I don't feel like going down to 2 Buzz is correct, or 3-1. I think that's also a little bit awkward. So I think one's Rescue Stretcher is kind of like that card I want in the list but may not have space for. Potentially could drop a Cynthia or one Lillie if you really want to work in that stretcher to have that Absol more secure on the board against these Zapdos builds, which is something you definitely could consider. A 4th Jirachi would also be something I'm definitely considering in the list, as well as even something like a 4th Acerola could be reasonable in the deck as well. More ball search, stuff like that is a few things that I've thought about. The Lucia as well. If you really want to go down the Lucia line, you can. Again, just looking for those Prism Pokemon. The Pokemon and the energy. If you do add the Lucia, you could consider going towards Ditto and having other deck basics and stuff, but it's just more Pokemon that Zapdos players can punish, which is something to bear in mind. So I think overall that's going to be my way to build it, and let's get into the games because this has been doing pretty well for me on the ladder. It's streaking actually right now. It's a decent deck. Obviously we just have type coverage to yawn our way through a few big matchups in the format right now. We are very concerned about hitting Malamars. We don't like hitting Blacephalon either too much. Fortunately, a lot of the Blacephalons have cut Choice Band just to add in Muck. Muck is awkward in its own right because we are Jirachi based, but Choice Band on Naganadel is definitely a nightmare that we don't want to deal with. The fact that we do have Acerola is kind of like dead in that matchup though, so we have a couple big bad matchups and a couple really strong matchups, so it's kind of polarized. You are doing a bit of a matchup roulette with this deck, so it is one of those that tries to hit the right meta, basically. Alright, we start with Jirachi. Our win rate is much higher whenever you see a Jirachi, which is awesome. We get to go first as well. Our hand isn't too shabby. No energy just yet, but looks like we're up against a lightning deck by the looks of the sleeves and whatnot. And we're not against the lightning deck, we're up against Ultra Necrozma, which is one of our harder matchups, that's for sure. Okay, I think we kick off with Stellar Wish here. Looking for Ball Search cards or Brooklet. Ball Search cards and Brooklet. Let's go for Brooklet Hill. I think. I mean, I don't really mind the Viridian Forest like taking over the board. I don't mind that at all, actually, because it's going to help us dig out energy cards. So let's go ahead and find this, and this is where we look to see if Absol's in deck, which it isn't, which is a big shame, because we usually try and do it to slow down people. We have 7 energy, so 2 in the prizes. We have our choice bands, we have 4 Guzmas. We have 1 Lycanroc, 1 Rockruff is prize as well. Yikes. Okay. But with Buzzwole, you've got to go all out to try and win. If we're going to win, we're going to be jet punching Inkays and trying to be aggressive on them. That's really our main win con against them. Because we've prized a Absol, I think we actually can put down a second Jirachi here. It's a little awkward against Sky Scorch. That's something we need to bear in mind. Yeah, we'll just forego it and go for Cynthia here. I don't mind putting down Rockruff, no. No turn 1 attachment is sad. Not too surprising, though, with our early prize cards, so we will send it our opponent's way right now. We currently have a backup Cynthia. No way to move our Pokemon outside of Guzma, so unless they put down Viridian or we draw into, or Stellar Wish into a switching card, we're going to have to find a way of doing this. We see an early treasure for an Inkay from the opponent. As mentioned earlier, this is a good matchup for them. There is a Viridian, so that's good for us. It means we can Guzma and start trying to target Inkays, especially if they put 2 down, that's the dream. Also, putting 30 on an Ultra isn't too bad. It sets up a Sledgehammer turn for us as well, if we force them to go through the GX, or try to force them to go through the GX. They're going to get through a big Lillie after attaching to the active. Let's see how many more Inkays they're going to get down. Here comes a treasure, so that's probably going to be an Inkay, unless they want to let loose on us. They're going to toss a choice band. Another Inkay. And just a pass. Okay. Trying for another Buzz-GX. I think we're going to bin that Buzz-GX for an energy card. We have our other Buzz-GX still in deck, remember? I think a Guzma looks okay here. Stellar Wish. Acerola and Beast Ring. Do I just start accumulating rings? Acerola is going to be so pointless. Yeah. I was thinking about taking Ace just to Ultra Ball it away, but I don't think it's correct. I think just accumulate the Beast Rings is correct. Let's just go in with Jet Punch, and I like 30 on this guy. Means we can hit Sledgehammer 140, 170. So if we hit, yeah, this is right. Double Inkay is also tempting, but I think this is safer. Just because he's already got 2 Psychics in the discard pile. They're going to go ahead and grab a Malamar. And they're going to Cynthia. They are still requiring a lot here. There's double Psychic Recharge. So if they draw into Switch card, they've got the knockout. But at the very least, it's with a GX. We much prefer that than with anything else. Yep, there's the Switch. Oh, Choice Band works too. Let Loose, getting us out of 2 Beast Rings, which is a bit sad. Also out of a Cynthia, even that's annoying. Into 2 energies. They're going to toss a Giratina. Photon Geyser. Okay. So we need to find Choice Band. Our only draw is via Stellar Wish, which is very awkward. This isn't looking great. Like I said, polarized matchups. Well, there's the Choice Band. Kukui as well. I think we got a rope Guzma, right? It's a shame we couldn't Beast Ring, so I want to get a backup attachment on Rockruff here. But at least our board is all non-GX, so we have the potential for another Beast Ring turn. Let's play rope. Convoluted way of getting us into the active. But we get a response at least. He already has a Giratina in the discard though. There's our Absol. Would have been nice to have this on board because it makes this escape board so easy. There's Inkay number 3. And a Cynthia. Looks like there was no escape board or switch in their hand. Maybe we can get away with something here. We can see a Nest Ball. What are they going to grab? They're going to go for a Jirachi perhaps? Or just another Inkay? Just nothing. Interesting. They're gonna forest away an Ultra Ball for a Psychic. This is where they get the Tina back and get him rolling. Yep, by the looks of things. 1 damage definitely on Jirachi, probably Rockruff as well, yeah. Did he hit the switch card? Oof, oof, oof. Damn it, Absol, why are you prized, bro? I bigged you up and everything. Oh. Oh. Good news, everyone. We have another Sledgehammer turn. It did mean that we had to put down another GX though, which is a little awkward. And that means he could get us off Beast Rings still. With a Necrozma GX. If he has Beast Energy or Choice Band in hand. He's already got rid of 1 though. Oh, he's got rid of 2. I think we should be safe unless it's exactly Beast Ring. Yeah, looks like he's just charging up the Tina. Maybe knocking out our Jirachi here, or Diancie. Or Active. Or Active's still a good thing to knock out. Yeah, he's not happy with that Absol. Doesn't like him one bit. So, decision time. Lycanroc, Dangerous Rogue. Talk to me. Stellar Wish for supporter. Even Guzma's good. I think we want a Stellar Wish. I'm going to be greedy. Yeah, let's be greedy. Well, Switch is something. I don't know how he kills this Lycanroc. That's the thing. I think we can get away with it. It's expensive, but it's what we've got. And he's been supporterless outside of Guzma for like a turn. Was it better for me to take the Acerola there? Just the Acerola up the Jirachi? It was, right? Yeah, I should have just taken the Acerola. Switch is more flexible. I guess if this Lycanroc tanks, we'd rather have an Acerola. I guess. Debatable. Here comes Ultra. He still needs Beast Energy to one-shot this. He's just Viridian for a metal. So is he gonna Ghost? He's gonna Treasure for an Inkay. And Cynthia. Unless he's playing 3 Choice Band, in which case, wow. He could also just Sky Scorch GX for 1 prize. Which is very scary. Even if we had Acerola, he still could have just put down the Giratina and done the same play, though. Well, there's Beast Ring a turn late. This isn't looking fabulous, guys, I'll be honest. I'll be straight with you. This isn't looking the best. Yep, that's should be GG. Yep. Well, we bricked in an auto loss and prized our Absol. I mean, it's not an auto loss. We bricked in our worst matchup and prized our answer to the matchup. So, we'll take that loss. Even then, it was, you know, we had a chance. Sad times. Lost the streak instantly. That's not a Zoroark deck. Whoops. Okay. Bloody let loose. There we were. 2 Beast Rings, ready to rumble with a Cynthia. Let loose had other plans. What a mess. Alright, let's get into another game. Also, Stellar Wish let us down, just gave us a switch. Really surprised he carried out Absol over the Jirachi, but I guess he was always eyeing up the Sky Scorch. We have a Mull. We have a reasonable opener. We have Brooklet Lillie, Buzz. And we'll see what we're up against. I see a Jirachi. Could be Pikarom, could be Zapdos. Let's read on. See a Nest Ball from them early. More Jirachis. See a Zapdos. Choice Band. Stellar Wish. Should have Stellar Wished before those 3 decisions. But we'll let them off. They pick up a switch. And they're going to Lillie. Just for the 3 and a pass. Okay. Okay. Absol's in deck. Beast Rings are here. 3 Acerola are all in here. Beast Energy is here. Looking pretty good. Lillie for 4 cards or Cynthia for 6 cards. Energy would be huge. I don't want to miss energy. Didn't miss energy, and we got an Absol to boot, which is nice. We're going to put damage on the Zapdos while it goes through resistance. Well, we still can. Can we see a Stellar Wish? We know they already have Switch in hand. They didn't Brooklet Hill as well, so maybe it's not the Rainbow Zapdos build. Or maybe they're keeping it a secret. Also possible. They're just going to Guzma KO Absol. Looks like they might have Electro Power. Wait, they promoted the other Jirachi. Oh, they have Switch. We know they have Switch. Thunder Mountain. Maybe that's more likely to be a Pikarom then. Which is good for us, because it means they're probably only playing 2 Zapdos. There's the Switch. Oh, can't knock us out. Well, that's good. Also a good top deck. As I said, I want to keep just putting chunky things down. Makes his escape ropes pretty terrible. Beast ringing the Buzzwoles are fine usually. More energies are good. Let's look with them with Cynthia. No energy. As mentioned, I don't want to give him easy Guzmas, although at the same time this is here, and he'll probably want to take this. So we'll take the opportunity to put a Rockruff down, knowing that we have the evolution for next turn. No attachment's a little bit funky, but we can at least knock out a Jirachi here. Would have been great to develop an attachment there. Let's see how many switching cards he's holding on to. There's a Guzma at least. Brings back Absol. Still a Wish. For another Guzma, sure. And a Concede. Huh. Okay. Beaten by 1 Absol and some chunky Pokemon. Okay, fair enough. These 30-30s, they do add up eventually. Yeah, you have to play pretty carefully with your own Jirachis and Lycanrocs in that matchup. Rockruffs especially. You only want to put them down when there's already something else they'd rather knock out. Chunky guys doing work. Let's get into another game. Have I really faced another psychic deck? No. What are you doing here, psychic stuff? Don't you know you're terrible against Zoroark? Alrighty. So we're drawing to all of our energies this time around. Not going to suffer from that problem. Have a turn on Lillie as well, which is never a bad thing. Our opponent starts Let Loose. What are they playing? Well, if they're playing Let Loose, I want to have a backup Jirachi, that's for sure. We have 1 Buzzwole-GX, 2 prized, 1 Beast Ring prized. If this Lillie fails me, I think I might still switch into this just to draw more off the Lillie. Let Loose, yeah. Okay, let's pull out Diancie, I believe, is correct. Still a Wish. Switching card is good. Kukui may not be the worst if we have Rope Diancie Kukui. I'll pick it up. Don't think we need to rope into our other Jirachi. Don't think it's right. Rope's one of those interesting cards. I've actually had 4 switch in here for a little bit. The rope is an extra out against Jolteon, which is cool, but not mandatory. Looks like their hand's pretty weak. They're just going to Lillie for 2. There's a Dawnwings though, definitely a tech Pokemon that's coming back into the meta thanks to Blacephalon, which we really don't appreciate. This is a good card to hold on to for that matchup for sure. They're going to be napping and send it over to us. Okay. Time to grab a Buzz. I think I also want to go ahead and grab a Rockruff before I Stellar Wish. Acerola is going to be useless against this purple stuff. This could be a helpful card, but no, Rockruff seems best. Stellar Wish. This seems good. Doesn't knock it out because of resist, but pushes us within a Jet Punch. Getting some damage on this is going to be nice. We don't have to be too worried about it just yet because there's obviously no Inkays coming down just yet. Okay. That's really not bad for us. Lowering their hand size for Lillie. Tragic. That's a rough start from them. That's a really rough start from them. Don't think we want anything else. The Absol is a good card. But these are good to Beast Ring on too. I think we just want to rush him if we can. Because of the Lego nature of his hand. That's one way to beat Malamar. Let them brick. Embarrassing. That's so gross. What an ugly opening hand from them. Let's get another game. Still haven't faced the Pikaroms or the Zoroarks just yet. Potentially the Zapdos player we played against was a Pikarom though. Potentially. You never know with Pikarom, because they never put them down. All you know is they run out of Switch cards before the Zapdos players do. There's our 3 Acerola. Secret's out. Probably looking at this hand like, what the? Monka Omega. We've got all the basics in the world. We have the busted start. Not much else in this hand, so Stellar Wish is going to have to pull some weight. Oh, our opponent has put down a lot of fighting weak cards. This is good news. We've prized to Buzzwole again. Damn it, Buzzwole. Stop. Stop doing that. I think our hand is so atrocious we need to proactively play this Ultra Ball as well. I think Acerola is definitely a bad card. The Jirachi isn't though. Guzma's not a bad card either. Beast Ring's obviously a good card. Well, we need to draw supporter, that's for sure. So I think we do this. Save me Stellar Wish. Thank you. Lillie for 6. We are getting beetled by the lack of energy cards in this deck. It's something I have thought about adding. Just a 10th energy. Has such anti-synergy with Stellar Wish that it always feels bad, but we have no searchable means of getting it. It's another reason why Lucia could be cool. Are we Ultra Balling again? We know Acerola's terrible in this matchup. I don't think we can ever afford to have 3 Jirachis on this board either, really. I think we just develop the guys. Making our Stellar Wishes stronger. We again need a draw supporter. Okay, no attachment's a bit rip. But I see a field of brown against a field of weak to brown. And that's good news. That's the good news. They are going to be Jirachi based, at the very least. See a switch from them before putting down the Jirachi, which makes me feel sad. What? That has to be an error, right? Has to be an error. What? Oh! This man plays weakness policy. Possibly the only man that plays weakness policy in standard. But fair play to him. Feels good. Ugh, where are my energy cards? So I try and deny a Stellar Wish from him. To draw an extra card as well for us. We do play 10 energy. Feels like it's one of those cards you just want to attach it every turn. That's the problem. Nest Ball out as Zapdos. No, they're going to fail the search. Interesting. Not even another Jirachi. They're going to grab a Guzma. No energy in the discard. Oh, there is one energy in the discard. Okay. the best thing for him to knock out. The good news is, with weakness policy, it's hard for him to reach on our GXs. He just wants the baby Buzz. Full Blitz looks powerful, not gonna lie. I think we want to Guzma. His Zoroark. And hit it for 100. Again, we would love to draw an energy card. Need to add Energy Lotto into this deck. I would definitely think about grabbing a Buzz-GX off this nest ball if we could, but we can't. With a low hand size, maybe we get lucky. 6 energy gone, obviously. Well, that's the Omega Punish. And that's how you jump over Beast Ring. Okay, see you later. Well, weakness policy is a good card, isn't it? Missing energy is good as well. One more game. I thought I'd figured out this 60, and there's still cards I want to change. I think I might be cutting a Lillie just for another energy card. We've whiffed way too many energy cards. We're not playing Field Blower though, that's childish. If you want to play Policy and get it turn 1, good job. Alrighty, we've been good at starting Jirachi at least. That's pretty poggers. We once again need it to help us dig out a supporter. A Zoroark deck. Huzzah! Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Zoro Buzzroc. This will be an interesting game. Can't see them not grabbing Lele for Lillie here. Unless they already have a Lillie in hand, that is. There we go. If we whiff turn on draw supporter, we could gust this and knock it out. Prized a Lycan. All right then. I guess this is happening. This is one way we can draw cards. Acerola not bad if he's going to start trying to jet punch us back. If he doesn't evolve both Zoroark as well, we could Bloodthirsty Eyes one of them for the KO. Or if he just puts down more Zoroas, obviously. That's also a thing that can happen. Let's see where the hand takes him. Takes us. Acerola would be nice just to have additional Stellar Wish. Just a jet punch seems reasonable. Well, this way we can jump over Sledgehammer turn. We don't jump over the Beast Ring turn. Which is basically our only concern here. I think Acerola is still better than just attached to the back. He doesn't need to commit bench Pokemon, and this way it forces him to find Choice Band. And it means we get a Stellar Wish in. Which is good for getting us draw supporters to get us out of this hot mess. Buzz still good at knocking out Zoroarks, confirmed. Let's see if he has Beast Ring banned without the help of Zoro draw. Beast Ring was fairly expected because he wasn't doing much from his hand, so I'll allow that, but I'm surprised he didn't commit Choice Band last turn. Just going to use Absorption GX. Okay. Ultra Ball seems like a helpful card here. Do I just Sledgehammer his Diancie? No, we want a Lillie and find our own Beast Rings. Okay. I mean, if we do find a Beast Ring, we just straight up win. If I grab a GX. Could grab another Jirachi and switch and Stellar Wish. What could I hit though? Just more Ball Search. I think I'm just playing two of these switches. Just a Lillie for more cards. We are pretty all in now though. Pretty all in. How do we stop him from going Guzma? If I grab a Absol. He can't Guzma attach. I think this is how we protect ourselves. He can't bench and attach to something either. He could bench Lillie, attach a DCE. Yikes. Maybe he can do it. It's just he needs to have Guzma DCE in hand. He's going to put down Brooklet for more buzz. Might be a Beast Ring off. I see an Ultra Ball as well from them. Oh, he had Switch in hand. Wait, that means he probably has it. Oh, I guess he doesn't have the Choice Band as well. Yeah, he needs Choice Band too. He took nothing? One of the tags for a Cynthia. Looks like he's just looking for more rings. Oh, wait. What? Oh my god. He's all in. He is all in. Oh, he's not all in. Okay. I take it back. He's not all in. This is such an interesting game. Switch, but no Choice Band. Switch was a huge pickup, I'm not going to lie. That should be game. Yep, and he knows. Whew. Way too nerve-wracking. Way too nerve-wracking. That was a huge hit from the Switch off the Cynthia. Our alternative was Energy Escape Board. But yeah, that's Buzzroc. Needs work. Needs work. Iron out the edges. Feels like we're supporterless even though we play a lot of supporters, and we're energyless even though we play a lot of energy cards, which is very bizarre. But there you go. Work in progress. I thought it was much better than this, but those games were all really bizarre, so maybe back to the drawing board, maybe some changes to be made. Let me know what you guys think about this list. Is Lycanroc stronger than the Lucario or not? I'll hear it all down below. So yeah, thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you in another video soon. Back to standard. Happy days. Cheers.